Near the Pokrovsk direction, a Ukrainian drone detects a lone Russian soldier moving across exposed terrain with no visible support nearby. From above, the operator maintains visual contact before gradually lowering altitude and directing the aircraft toward his position. For several moments, the soldier continues moving without reacting to the approaching drone. Only as the distance closes does he recognize the threat and raise his weapon, attempting to drive the aircraft away. The response fails to interrupt its approach. Along a muddy dirt road in the Pokrovsk direction, where standing water remains after recent rain, a Ukrainian drone flies low while conducting a routine scan of the route. From above, the operator detects a Russian soldier riding a motorcycle, with several supply containers secured behind him. His movement along the exposed road makes the route easy to track, and the position is quickly confirmed. Moments later, the drone approaches from behind and begins closing the distance. The rider continues forward without any visible reaction as the aircraft accelerates along the road, aligns its final approach, and commits to the attack. The following sequence is recorded by a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone above a wide stretch of dry grassland in the Pokrovsk direction. From overhead, the operator detects a lone Russian soldier moving steadily across the exposed field, apparently focused on his route and unaware that every movement is being observed. For several moments, the reconnaissance drone maintains its distance and quietly tracks his progress. Shortly afterward, another Ukrainian drone enters the area and begins approaching the identified position. As the sound of the aircraft becomes increasingly noticeable, the soldier suddenly recognizes the threat and drops into the tall grass, apparently hoping to break visual contact. The drone continues closing in, but briefly holds its approach to confirm the position. When the soldier attempts to raise his weapon in response, the operator quickly adjusts the flight path, maintains alignment, and commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds near a cemetery on the outskirts of Pokrovsk, where a Russian soldier is seen running through the graves and uneven pathways before heading toward a nearby open field. From above, a Ukrainian drone rapidly closes the distance and intercepts his movement. After the initial engagement, the soldier falls to the ground and appears unable to continue moving. Seconds later, another Ukrainian drone arrives overhead and releases a munition toward the same position. During the final moments, the soldier raises one finger toward the aircraft in an apparent gesture of defiance. The drone remains above the exposed location, makes another controlled pass, and releases a second munition. The following sequence unfolds among the ruins near Chasiv Yar, where a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian soldier attempting to conceal himself inside the heavily damaged terrain. An attack drone soon appears overhead and begins maintaining pressure on the position. Realizing the aircraft is nearby, the soldier repeatedly fires his weapon upward in an attempt to force it away. Above the engagement, the reconnaissance drone continues tracking every movement and relaying the soldier's location. The attack drone keeps maneuvering around the ruins, changing its angle while avoiding the incoming fire and preventing the soldier from easily relocating. As the encounter continues, the soldier is forced to divide his attention between different directions, making it increasingly difficult to follow the aircraft's movement. The operator uses that brief opening to tighten the approach, maintain alignment with the exposed position, and commit to the final attack. The following footage is recorded by a Ukrainian attack drone during a patrol along a heavily damaged tree line in the Donetsk direction. After scanning the vegetation without detecting any visible activity, the operator shifts attention toward nearby open ground, where shallow pools of water remain after recent rainfall. From above, the drone suddenly identifies a lone Russian soldier moving across the exposed grass with no immediate cover nearby. The operator quickly changes course and begins closing the distance. With the soldier still exposed and showing little indication that he has detected the approaching aircraft, the drone maintains alignment, accelerates toward his position, and commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds near a concrete utility pole in the Pokrovsk direction, where a Ukrainian FPV drone closes in on a Russian soldier attempting to use the narrow structure as temporary cover. As the aircraft approaches, the soldier raises his weapon and tries to keep the drone away. Instead of immediately closing in, the operator maintains pressure while tracking each movement around the pole. The soldier repeatedly circles the structure, attempting to break visual contact and keep the concrete barrier between himself and the aircraft. The drone mirrors those movements, continuously changing its angle and preventing him from easily leaving the position. After several tense moments, the operator reassesses the approach and waits for an opening. As the soldier makes another attempt to counter the aircraft, the drone rapidly closes the remaining distance and commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds across open grassland in the Donetsk direction, where a Ukrainian bomber drone detects a lone Russian soldier moving unsteadily through exposed terrain. From above, he appears to carry little visible equipment, suggesting he may have become separated from his unit or affected by an earlier engagement. The drone stabilizes overhead and releases a munition, forcing him to the ground and interrupting his movement. After a brief pause, the soldier manages to rise and attempts to reposition while making unclear gestures toward the aircraft. He then reaches for what appears to be a communication device and switches it off, possibly attempting to reduce his electronic signature. Despite these efforts, he remains clearly visible in the open. The drone continues tracking his movements, reassesses the position, aligns above the exposed area, and releases another munition toward the location. The following sequence unfolds near an abandoned trench line in the Pokrovsk direction, where a Russian soldier is seen moving cautiously along the edge of the position. Without warning, he suddenly drops flat against the ground and remains completely motionless, suggesting he may have detected an aerial threat before actually seeing it. Shortly afterward, a Ukrainian FPV drone is directed toward the area and begins approaching the last known position. From above, the operator identifies the soldier lying beside the trench, apparently relying on stillness and the surrounding terrain for concealment. As the sound of the aircraft grows closer, he continues to remain motionless. The drone carefully adjusts its flight path, confirms the exposed position, lowers its altitude, and commits to the final attack beside the trench. The following sequence unfolds across a wide grass field leading toward a heavily damaged area, where a Ukrainian FPV drone is moving rapidly after reconnaissance reports indicate Russian activity nearby. As the aircraft reaches the ruins, the operator identifies a Russian soldier walking between the damaged structures. His attention appears fixed on a handheld radio, leaving him focused on communication rather than the surrounding airspace. From above, the drone maintains a direct approach, making only minor corrections as the distance steadily disappears. The soldier continues moving without any visible indication that he has detected the aircraft closing in. Only during the final moments does he appear to recognize the approaching threat, but by then, the drone is already at close range and commits to the final attack. The war in Ukraine continues to reshape daily movement across the Donetsk sector, one of the most heavily contested areas of the front. Recent drone footage repeatedly shows Russian soldiers moving alone through open fields, damaged settlements, tree lines, and abandoned defensive positions. Some appear separated from nearby units, while others search for whatever concealment the terrain can provide. Trees, thick grass, drainage pipes, ruined structures, trenches, and disabled vehicles may offer protection from ground level, but persistent observation from above creates a very different tactical environment. Across these sequences, the same pattern appears repeatedly. A reconnaissance drone detects movement first and maintains visual contact while the soldier continues across the terrain. Once the approximate position is established, FPV operators can be directed toward the area and begin searching the last known location. Even when a soldier disappears beneath vegetation or enters a tree line, the observation does not necessarily end. Operators can circle, lower altitude, change viewing angles, and wait for movement to reveal the position again. Some soldiers recognize the approaching aircraft and attempt to run toward nearby cover. Others remain motionless, apparently hoping the drone will lose visual contact. In several encounters, small arms are used against the aircraft, while other soldiers attempt to move around trees, utility poles, trenches, or ruined structures to keep physical obstacles between themselves and the drone. The footage also demonstrates how demanding low-altitude FPV operations have become. Operators maneuver through vegetation, around branches, across damaged terrain, and between structures while maintaining control of the aircraft and continuously updating their view of the target area. More importantly, these encounters highlight a broader tactical problem for isolated infantry. Without nearby counter-drone systems, electronic protection, coordinated support, or reliable concealment, even a short movement across exposed ground can become visible from above. Once surveillance is established, every attempt to relocate can provide another reference point. What these sequences ultimately reveal is not simply the effectiveness of individual drones, but the growing importance of persistent aerial observation. On this battlefield, concealment and disappearance are no longer the same thing. A soldier may leave direct sight for several moments, yet the search can continue overhead until movement exposes the position again.